What do cats actually think about humans? Imagine you're a cat. A giant hairless creature lives in your territory. Every single day it disappears. Every single day it comes back. It controls the food. It controls the doors. It makes strange, unpredictable noises. It picks you up without warning. Sometimes it stares at you. Sometimes it ignores you completely. What would you think about it? More importantly, what do cats actually think about us? Because here's the thing. We've spent thousands of years assuming we understand our cats. We think they're aloof, independent, maybe a little ungrateful. But what if we've had it completely backwards? What if cats have a far more complex, far more fascinating view of humans than we ever gave them credit for? Let's find out. First, let's kill the biggest myth. Do cats think we own them? No. And the reason why tells you everything about how cats see the world. Dogs were domesticated from wolves, pack animals with deep, hardwired social hierarchies. A dog needs a leader. It's basically looking for its alpha every single day. That's why your dog follows you from room to room, checks in constantly, and looks at you like you just cured a disease when you come home from getting groceries. Cats are different. Cats evolved from solitary hunters. No pack, no hierarchy, no need to rank themselves against other creatures. The African wildcat, the ancestor of every house cat alive today, didn't survive by following a leader. It survived by being completely, ruthlessly self-sufficient. So when a cat looks at you, it's not calculating where you rank. It's not deciding if you're dominant or submissive. It genuinely doesn't care about that system. Which means the question isn't whether you own your cat. The question is something much stranger. Do cats think humans are giant cats? This sounds ridiculous. But stay with me. When researchers studied how cats behave differently around humans versus other cats, they found something unexpected. Many of the social behaviors cats use with humans, they also use with each other. Head bumping, which cats do to transfer scent and signal trust. Slow blinking, which is essentially a cat's way of saying, I'm relaxed around you. Kneading, a behavior that starts in kittenhood. Allo rubbing, where cats physically rub against each other to share territory scent. Cats do all of these things with humans. And here's where it gets interesting. Cats don't do many of these behaviors with larger animals. They typically don't try to head bump a horse or slow blink at a dog. But with humans, they do it constantly. The leading theory among animal behaviorists is that cats, at least partially, map humans onto their existing social framework, which is the framework for other cats. In other words, your cat may not think you're a human. It may think you're a very large, very strange, very unpredictable cat. One that somehow controls everything, which brings us to the food theory. And this one is going to make you question everything. Why do cats follow humans around? Why do they suddenly become affectionate at specific times of day? Is it love, or is it something more calculated? Here's the uncomfortable possibility. Cats are highly intelligent creatures. They learn patterns fast. And one of the earliest patterns they learn is this. The giant creature controls food. The giant creature follows a schedule. If I perform certain behaviors, rubbing, meowing, sitting near it, the food appears sooner. Scientists call this contingency learning. Cats are remarkably good at understanding cause and effect in their environment. And humans, from a cat's perspective, are basically vending machines that respond to social input. So, do cats love us, or do they love what we provide? The honest answer is probably both. But the line between the two is blurrier than we'd like to admit. And it gets even more complicated when you look at why cats stare at humans. The stare. You know the one. Your cat is sitting across the room, completely still, watching you with an expression that suggests it's either deeply concerned or mildly disappointed in your life choices. What is actually happening? Cats are environmental monitors. In the wild, survival depends on knowing your territory. What changed? What moved? What's a threat? What's an opportunity? In a domestic setting, the human is the single most unpredictable variable in the cat's entire environment. Think about it from the cat's point of view. Every other element of their world is mostly stable. The furniture doesn't move, the walls don't change, The temperature is consistent, but you're chaos. You come and go on a schedule they've had to reverse engineer. You make sounds they can't fully interpret. You bring in strange smells from the outside world. You sometimes pick them up for no discernible reason. To a cat, a human is basically a walking weather system. Interesting, potentially useful, occasionally alarming, always worth watching. But here's where the story completely flips. Because despite all of that, the strategic food manipulation, the confused species mapping, the constant surveillance, cats also show something that looks a lot like genuine trust. And the signs are more specific than most people realize. The slow blink isn't just a social behavior. Research has shown that when humans slow blink at cats, cats slow blink back at higher rates and are more likely to approach the human afterward. It's an active, reciprocal signal. Not random, not instinct, a choice. Sleeping near a human is another one. Cats are vulnerable when they sleep. In the wild, a sleeping animal is a target. So, where a cat chooses to sleep tells you exactly how safe it feels. If your cat sleeps in the same room as you, or on you, that's not laziness. That's a security decision. And then there's the belly. Every cat owner knows the belly is a trap. But the fact that cats expose their belly at all, even without wanting it touched, is significant. Belly exposure is maximum vulnerability. Cats only do it when they feel genuinely safe in their environment. Your cat might not be cuddly, but it might still trust you completely. Those are two very different things. And now for the part that changes everything. In 2019, researchers at Oregon State University ran a study using the same attachment framework psychologists use to study bonds between parents and children. They put cats in a room with their owners, then briefly removed the owner, then brought them back, and watched how the cats responded. What they found was remarkable. 65% of cats showed a secure attachment style. When their human returned, they were briefly excited, then calmed down and went back to exploring, just like securely attached children with their parents. Around 35% showed anxious or avoidant attachment. The same patterns you see in humans who had inconsistent early relationships. Cats form attachment bonds, real ones, structured the same way as human attachment. This wasn't a pet video finding. This was behavioral science confirming that cats see certain humans as a genuine, secure base, a source of safety in an uncertain world. So, what does your cat actually think about you? Not owner, not master, not servant. Something much stranger. A giant hairless creature that somehow controls food, doors, warmth, safety, and the entire structure of daily life. A creature that might be a very weird kind of cat. A creature whose patterns they've studied carefully, whose moods they've learned to read, whose presence makes them feel, despite everything, safe enough to sleep. The next time your cat sits across the room and quietly watches you from that spot on the couch, remember, you might think you're studying your cat, but your cat has probably been studying you far longer.